Hello, this is Cartoon Conversations, where we do things, go places, and say stuff. Mainly about Justice League Unlimited, but shockingly, about other things too.
Yeah, so, very, very shockingly, is pretty much everything we talk about tends to have an upside in politics. Even though I go to bed with like 4 blankets and a Wreck-It Ralph poster on my wall.
Yeah, go figure. Well, I have a I'm ready for Hillary bumper sticker on my car and a Hillary poster in my room. So that explains how we get to politics all the time, I think. So, seriously though, the other stuff we're talking about, Elliot, might it relate to our big question today?
I think it might, good sir, and I shall explain the question thusly. The question today is, as we take this episode and start to wonder, can we use this episode's plot to help us understand what we truly want more from cartoons, superheroes, or just superhero stories in general?
And I think this question is so important this week because I really like this episode. But when I think about this episode too much, there's a lot of things I really don't like about this episode.
Right! That was exactly what I thought.
So it's got to be doing something right.
Yeah. Or well, something wrong.
Storytelling perspective.
Yes.
So.
See.
I really want to dig deep and find out what I like so much about this episode.
I too wish to do those things, Jordan.
Well, as the one who thought of the question, I would assume so.
Yes. Yes, what?
We open on the Brainiac piece that Grodd had been holding over Luthor's head. Lex Luthor repeats his motivation, basically restore Brainiac, keep running the Legion of Doom, blah blah blah, blah blah blah.
So on and so forth. Grodd is locked in a freaking cellar cage thing, like some gorilla.
Yeah, they should really call him like Gorilla Grodd or something.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what is this? Instead of just calling him Steve for the past hour and a half.
Yeah, no, I mean, Steve Grodd has a ring to it, but Gorilla Grodd, no, that sounds good.
Steve Grodd, I like that. Steve Grodd, Harvey Grodd. Harvey Grodd, man. Defender of law and all that good shit.
It's, I believe it would be Harvey Grodd, man, attorney at law. So.
Attorney at Grodd.
Attorney at Grodd. Okay, so.
And eventually it's just going to devolve into Grodd, attorney, Grodd. It's like Team Fortress hats.
Yes. So, Luthor's angry about his failure to revive Brainiac. A single bit of Brainiac usually has ended up attacking Superman by now.
Yeah.
But Lex Luthor can't restore him. It's weird. He interrogates Grodd, but Grodd won't give up his bargaining chip. So Talia suggests they just break his mind open. And Lex pretty into that.
Which is like, wow, how fucked up, Talia.
Well, you know, she is evil. And I mean, she's like, not wash your hands evil.
Yeah.
So.
She's like, I probably have all of these goddamn issues in my head, evil.
Oh, she has issues.
Yada, yada, yada.
Issues. So, we hit credits.
We sure do. Dun, 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 dun.
Such a good theme song.
Credits are happening right now.
I really thought by episode 34 I'd be a little bit sick of these credits, but every time they come on, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome.
I'm still really excited to be a part of this.
Yeah, no. It's just such a great theme song. So, and I think that's part of what a good superhero story needs. It needs like a good rock theme song.
Rock.
Something with some electric guitar, a little bit up, so that you know no matter how bad the episode is, you got 2 good minutes. Well, like more like a minute and a half of theme song. So, I think that's important.
I can dig it.
Yeah. That is, in my opinion, the secret to the success of Beyblade. Because that is one bad show, but it is one really good theme song. So the parents watching along were like, okay, I hate this show so much, but damn, I love that theme song. Fine, my kid can watch the show.
Yeah! But damn it, if they don't rip it up every time they Beyblade...
At the speed of sound, going head to head It's a way
It's
of
a
life.
way of life.
So, people who haven't watched Beyblade are so confused right now.
Jordan, you gotta fall down and eat ground to get back up again.
Okay.
It's Beyblade. That's Beyblade!
Oh my god, that was such a good theme song. People watching this video, pause the video, open up a new link, go to YouTube, and watch the original Beyblade theme song. So good.
Oh, sweet great.
Yeah. So, at Legion of Doom HQ, Dr. Polaris and the other supervillains.
Dr. Polaris is turning out to be more of like a crazy badass than we originally.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Like, we've seen hints of him having some serious toughness, and what really makes a great supervillain: overconfidence, evilness, and power.
Evilness.
The 3 tools to being a good supervillain.
Word. Tools, if you will.
Actually, it should be power over confidence and evilness, because then it's Poe. He has,
Jordan, you have
all 3 characteristics of Poe.
Poe?
Of Poe.
Poe as in like...
Edgar Allan, yes.
Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say something totally different.
Oh, no. The one in Kung Fu Panda is only P.O., unfortunately. That
I wasn't
good
saying
too.
Kung Fu Panda either. I thought you were going to go Dragon Ball Z and say, you know, like...
oh, no, that's Po-Po.
Mr. Po-Po.
And that's still P.O. So... Okay.
Experience,
He's more
maybe?
of a Team 4-star Po-Po than he is a regular Po. But either way, his Po aside, they're staging a bit of an intervention in a sort of supervillainy way. They believe that Lex Luthor is not quite fit for leadership because he's holed up in his room. After Grodd did that, he turned them all into monkeys. So you can understand why they're a little bit worried about that.
Right. Which also kind of fuels my point where I thought that Gorilla Grodd did not explain his plan to any of them before he did it.
No, he definitely didn't.
He definitely did not. Exactly. He did not give any of those goddamn motherfuckers a single clue.
Confirmed by Sinestro's comment there. So, Lex Luthor was actually, though, holed up, besides the Brainiac thing, prepping the greatest train robbery the world has ever seen.
The greatest train robbery.
So,
in what time period is this? Huh?
I said, so suck it, Billy the Kid.
Billy, yeah, I was about to say something like that, right?
So...
I do believe that all those gun-toting badasses have a word with you.
So that keeps the supervillains calm.
Sort of.
Yes. On the Watchtower, the Just League is very reasonably worried about Grodd's new secret society, which they don't know is actually now Luthor's secret society.
Oh, yeah.
Green Lantern and Mr. T have a plan, and Red Tornado is there. So they're going to have Dr. Fate, who's also there, trace the connection of Gorilla Grodd and Flash from The Brave and the Bold, which was from the original Justice League Season 1. Episode 12, if you want to catch it on Netflix, and 13. So they need to do this because even Batman can't find the Legion of Doom headquarters, which shows, good job, Grodd.
Definitely.
Grodd, the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, they're talking about how great Grodd is in that one situation, which is pretty damn cool. He left a tracker in goddamn Flash's mind. He even covered up steps, so the greatest private detective ever couldn't handle it. Yeah. Couldn't fucking find his shit.
So, the Flash doesn't really want to do this. After all, his head is where he keeps all his good one-liners. But Green Lantern points out that people will get hurt if he doesn't, so he agrees, which this is a part of a great superhero show. The heroes are heroic.
They sure is.
Even though they have their faults, they are, in the end, heroes and they're good people.
Yes.
I think that's very important for a superhero show. I think a lot of superhero shows are just unnecessarily dark, and I don't believe the heroes are good people. So.
Yeah, no, a lot of the newer ones, except for the Flash. Oh, well, what do you think about it? Actually, I guess it's just because the one that gets the most, claim is the Arrow, and that one's really dark. Yeah, well, think about other ones.
Well, I really didn't like Arrow because of that. That I felt Arrow was a sincerely bad person, and I didn't want to root for him to succeed.
Right.
So I stopped watching the show.
Right. What about...
Whereas Supergirl, where she's unabashedly a good person, and is proud of being a good person, and actively works at being a better person, I really like.
What about Jessica Jones? I haven't seen that one yet.
I would say that is a show about a hero, someone who's truly a hero, grasping back towards her heroic side. And and after a traumatic incident, finding it
with her hands
to be a hero again. And that is that type of positive, definitely a hero throughout all of that you can do. You can do a dark show like Jessica Jones. But you can't do something, in my opinion, like Arrow or Arrow or Spider-Man 3, where we're confused if we're even supposed to like this hero because he does so many bad things.
He was kind of in the, he's like in the moment, one of those things, you know? He was being under the influence of what's-his-fuck.
Yeah, he was under the influence of Venom, but I don't think they made that so clear. I still felt like it was Peter. Emotionally, at least. Also, I mean, that movie had a lot of problems. That movie wasn't going to be good, even if they did that right. But I always felt that was the biggest problem with it, is that it made me dislike Peter Parker. And if you dislike Peter Parker, there isn't too much to like in Spider-Man.
If you dislike Peter Parker. Yeah, no, I get what you mean, technically.
Yeah.
People person.
Yeah.
When Peter Man.
That's what Spectacular Spider-Man does such a good job with.
Right, you held such a candle for that show.
Okay, I think it's the second best superhero show ever made. Number one is, obviously, Justice League.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, it's very good. I think the newer Spider-Man series is the shows, they have a lot going for them. They've got,
Ultimate
good voice acting. What?
Really? Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know. I think Spectacular Spider-Man's so good. And although I have an irrational dislike for Ultimate Spider-Man because it got Spectacular Spider-Man canceled.
Oh, that's why, yeah. All right. I mean, your irrational hate besides. I mean, they introduce new characters. They're all really cool. Everything is fantastic with this show.
The Luke Cage guy is pretty cool. And
Iron
Fist, or what is it? The guy who's always with Luke Cage, they're giving him a live-action show. I never remember his name. Iron Fist, something like that.
I have no idea.
He wears the green suit, and he's a fun character. The three of them make, like, the core.
God, he's frick. I was just playing with him the other day. Iron Fist, I think?
Iron Fist, something like that.
Yeah, Iron Fist.
Yeah. So the three of them make, like, a fun golden trio. So...
Yeah, they... I don't know, they have a good... What's the freaking word? They have good chemistry. They all kind of have varying identities.
You feel like they like each other.
For a kids show, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a Teen Titans sort of feel.
Yeah. Like without the Teen Titans.
Yeah. Different characters, but
yes.
Same sort of idea of the team likes each other.
And Teen Titans Go is a fine series.
So, at the same time, the Justice League is tracing the Flash-Grodd connection. In Legion of Doom headquarters, Lex Luthor is interrogating Grodd using science. If he doesn't give him the info, he will rip it from his mind.
Oh no! Don't use science on me!
Yeah. So Grodd insults Luthor because he's a badass, and they turn the machine on.
Because he's a badass. There,
which is kind of cool because of what we talked about in the first episode of this, where he might have been... They were putting him as maybe part of Brainiac, and then they decided against it. So I'm wondering if they still hadn't decided against him being a piece of Brainiac yet.
Right.
So, I think they did, but it's a nice red herring at the very least. So...
I do like, because of the fact that we do see so much of this build-up going on with the piece, and we see how transfixed Lex Luthor is on it. He's losing his mind pretty much. He's like, I don't understand what's going on. This should be working. I should be having my best friend back now. He's so sad with it. It's just like it's kind of sad to watch it. Sad.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Flashes of light. There are flashes of lights and screams on both sides as the minds switch. Dr. Fate immediately realizes it's Lex Luthor, but it's kind of hard to hit the Flash, so his initial volley misses. The heroes try to catch him, but, fastest man alive.
Yeah, Lex Luthor seems to get the whole gist of being the Flash pretty damn quick.
He uses powers even the Flash doesn't, actually. So, we also get to see Mr.
Wait, what do you mean?
They'll come up later. I'll mention them as they come up. But he actually uses a couple powers that the Flash never does.
Oh, right. Well, the Flash never uses them for reasons that are explained.
Because he's not a bad person, is the reason.
Yeah, there you go.
But, these are things that he must just guess from knowing what Flash's powers are. That Flash has the power to do. So, that's kind of cool. So, let's see. So, yes. We see Mr. Terrific fight, which is pretty darn cool. He even saves Tony, the transportation guy, so...
I love watching Mr. Terrific fight, because, we cool. Never really see much of anything about him, so it's really cool.
Smart.
Yeah.
His entire characterization right now is, dude, that guy's freaking smart.
Pretty much,
and now, we've expanded that to, dude, that guy's freaking smart. And he has some, cool exploding sphere things.
And he has little bombs that do stuff. That's pretty damn cool. I'm totally chill with that.
Yeah. So he throws his T-spheres. That's kind of cool. His T-spheres.
I think they did a little bit more in the comics, but I can't really remember.
Yeah, no. He's his own hero in the comics, and he's totally awesome. I don't know too much about him, but I know enough to know that he's cool.
I know enough to know that he is pretty damn awesome.
So, yeah, what is it? In Legion of Doom headquarters, because the Flash escapes, I should say Lex Luthor as the Flash escapes, the supervillains are a little weirded out about Lex Luthor waking up and not knowing who they are or anything really.
And all that shit just getting all weird and stuff.
He tries to run, but he can't. And he's out of breath in 2 seconds. Really, you can't tell me Luthor's that out of shape. I can run 10 feet. I feel like Lex Luthor's probably in better shape than me. I
think it's more of an understanding that Lex Luthor, that the Flash is used to being able to run at such a majestic way that he just can't understand that he's not running fast. He's not going fast. He's not Sonic the Hedgehog right now, so he's like, oh my god, what's happening? He's panting, he's gasping for breath, he has no idea what's going on.
So, I actually kind of wonder about the mechanics of the Speed Force. I always kind of figured it was more of a mind thing, because you were pulling it from an outside place. It would be coming into your mind, and then you would run really fast through there. But I guess it must be more of a body thing, once you unlock it, it's stuck with your body. Because Lex Luthor can use it, no problem. You'd think there'd be, an adjustment period where he had to learn how to use the Speed Force.
He is a genius, which is probably what they would explain that being, but...
Superman Red Sun when he cracks the 24-word password to the Green Lantern ring. And I love how he just thinks of it as a 24-word password.
Right. It's not the ritual that enables the light of justice to shine through your body. It is a computer password that needs a bit of tinkering.
Yeah. It's great.
You're a supervillain, everyone.
Yeah. Well, he's the hero in Red Sun.
Right. He's the hero in Red Sun, but, this is what you guys are up against.
Yeah. That's one of the great things about the comic, that they make Lex Luthor a hero without changing a single negative thing about him. he's just as much of an awful person, but he's also completely a hero. So cool.
Right.
So, but I guess it's not. I guess it's part of the body. Maybe it's lodged in your heart or something. It comes in through the heart, so I don't know. So,
fuck it.
So, supervillains are a little freaked out about that. And on the Watchtower, Mr. T lets people know about the Flash. He's already defeated, let's see, Booster Gold, Ice, Elastic Man, Stargirl, Captain Atom.
Stargirl?
Okay, we're talking about some heavy hitters here. Booster Gold, Captain Atom, and I think the last guy's name is Firestorm. They track him to a strange room, but Mr. T thinks it's something weird, so he sends only Green Lantern and Dr. Fate. He's right, which is one of the cool things about Mr. T. They never underplay how smart he is. That, you know, Lex Luthor's one of the smartest people in the universe, and this guy, he's playing chess with him, you know? So...
He's playing chess with them. He's playing chess with their minds, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking around with their brains.
So, he's right. Lex Luthor did ditch his trackables. Mr. T, she's showing great leadership here.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is just swell.
So, because they can't track him anymore, he sends his people to the areas Lex Luthor would want to go. He sends Dr. Fate, goes on his own to make a spell to reverse the switch, and Green Lantern goes alone to the Javelin Bay, where Lex Luthor is. At Legion of Doom headquarters, the Flash is walking out. Tala catches up to him and tries to come on to him, but he doesn't know who she is. Which, I actually have a question about that. Shouldn't he know who she is because she was the director of Cadmus? I mean, it's been 5 years. It's not unreasonable for him to forget, but he's shown multiple times to be smart and have a good memory. You'd think he'd remember that.
I don't know. I don't feel like all of Cadmus was open to the public.
I thought Batman kind of knew who the main people were in Cadmus.
Batman did, but I don't think the Flash really...
But they've said a couple times that Batman was giving regular reports on Cadmus. And, I mean, it might be that Flash didn't remember her so important because she got trapped in the mirror for a while.
Right.
So...
It's just that I don't think that Flash bothered to know or even saw her.
So it might just be he didn't consider her a threat because of that, so he forgot about her. I don't know.
I don't think they know each other.
I'm not going to go so far as to say it's a plot hole. It's just a question, I'd say. So he goes into the bathroom, and he tries to make a call. So he sees he's Lex Luthor. That's pretty funny. So, I've got a couple questions about this bathroom, though. First, in a supervillain hideout...
Yes.
Why would they have, like, a college dorm-style bathroom? It really seems to me they'd more have, like, a VIP at a club bathroom. With, like, everything decked out in gold and plush and...
I don't know,
really
man.
Nice.
I feel like they were just going for simplicity to save room for the areas where they make death lasers. Okay, how about that?
I guess, but you're in a swamp. What's the cost of
This
expanding?
is my swamp.
Yeah, I don't know. So that seemed weird to me. I can't see Lex Luthor going to the bathroom in a place like that. Maybe he's got his own bathroom. So
that's what bathrooms looked like back in this day.
Second,
that's how it happened. End of story.
Second, he shows some serious smart here. Because as soon as he realizes what happens, he tries to use his cell phone. That's smart. Call for help.
Well, I feel like that part he was just looking for shit in his pockets. He's like, holy crap, I found a cell phone, let's go, let's use it.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious, pretty easy.
And then third, he successfully bluffs his way through a meeting with Dr. Polaris, which is just really funny, where he doesn't wash his hands because he's evil. Right,
I love that part. It's like, you're not going to wash your hands? Like, I'm not, because I'm evil. Making it super freaking obvious that, you know, it's clearly not freaking Lex Luthor in that body.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just So
I think that's how the Flash actually thinks how supervillains talk to each other.
Right? It's like I think Lex Luthor would daunt his massive ego over everyone in such a way that it becomes so just idiotically pretentious.
Well, he would flout his ego everyone in a really pretentious way, but he would do it intelligently, and he would probably wash his hands when he leaves the bathroom.
Right. He has gloves on too, so like he didn't need to do anything.
I guess, but they're still pooping.
I hold my tackle with my gloves, which means I don't get infections.
So at the Watchtower, Green Lantern and Red Tornado catch up with Lex Luthor, who defeats them, and vibrates a door open. Green Lantern explains, which is a power Flash never used, but Green Lantern explains that he doesn't use it because, giant explosion.
Yeah, it caused...
It shows that it's a really... Lex Luthor knows Flash's powers about as well as Flash. That's pretty impressive.
I remember them explaining in another situation, I think in another show, that that power the Flash has, if he uses it too much, it would like tear holes in the fabric of reality.
Yeah, but this is a pretty slow Flash, so I doubt that would happen.
I don't know, he blew up a fucking hangar bay. It's pretty damn nuts.
But a more powerful Flash could have just walked through it.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, he's Wally West. Wally West, in the comics, very rarely has that power because he's slower and less powerful than other Flashes. But, Guy Gardner, who's the main Flash? Sorry, not Guy Gardner. I meant to say Jay Garrett. Who's the main Flash? Silver Age.
Wally West? No, not Wally West.
I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Jay Garrett, the main Flash, Impulse, they can all vibrate through things without destroying them.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. So Lex Luthor gets a javelin and tries to bash his way through the door because the weapons are on safety.
Totally gonna work.
Totally. It probably would have worked. You saw a dent.
And like sex joke.
Yeah, it was a little penis into. Yeah.
Come on, Jordan, what's the next one?
But they're a safety feature, so that's not gonna work. So Green Lantern and Red Tornado catch up with him. They destroy the javelin. Poor Batman's wallet.
Poor
Lex Luthor creates a tornado and runs away. Red Tornado, obviously, is the expert, so he just counters the tornado.
Right.
And
he's an expert on tornadoes.
Well, what else would you call him? So, I'm imagining him on Fox News now, reporting on a tornado in the Midwest.
Wait, what?
I'm imagining Red Tornado as like a weatherman now, reporting on tornadoes.
Oh, okay.
These are all the people it would have killed. But I stopped it.
Yeah. No worries. It's all cool. So, everything's fine. Don't worry.
At Legion of Doom headquarters, the Flash bluffs his way through the supervillain meeting by
fantastically.
Yes, just so fantastically, by making others explain their parts of the plan. And he doesn't really know who's part of the plan, so first he asks Evil Star to explain his part, who isn't part of the plan.
Wait, his name was Evil Star? I thought his name was Evil Headman.
No, is Evil Star.
I know, it's just that he calls him like Evil Headman or something.
Yep. Yeah, I think that is what he calls him, actually. I forgot that.
Evil Head or something.
Yeah. I said, you there with the big head, I think he says.
No, hold on
a second. He gives a hilarious opening statement where he says, I, Lex Luthor, a lot of times.
Right. I, Lex Luthor.
Which I feel like is the perfect way to convince people you are who you say you are.
Oh, yeah, totally. All you have to do is start shouting your name.
It is I, Jordan Stein.
Yes.
People would be like, oh, dude.
And I, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes. I don't think I could pull off Dwayne The Rock Johnson, even with the most cunning disguise. So, Dr. Polaris explains that Kasnia, for those who aren't familiar with the DC Universe, think the former Yugoslavia. is united and democratic. Yay! Justice League fixed the Civil War in Hawk and Dove. Go Wonder Woman. So they're switching to the euro, and they've even joined the European Union, which, you know, is pretty impressive for 5 years' work, considering they were in a civil war 5 years ago.
Right.
So
they've got good shit going on. Everything's fine.
So they're switching to the euro, but all those euros have to be shipped by train to Casnia, all together, at the same time.
Yeah.
In a world with supervillains.
In the train.
I get the EU doesn't work that well, but even they're not that incompetent. Like, seriously. If that's how bad the EU was in our world, I would have been really pro-Brexit.
I was about to mention Brexit. I was like, I don't know, Brexit is a thing.
So, basically, they're going to steal it all.
They're not exactly the smartest.
We also find out that the Casnian currency is crowns, which fits. I like it. It feels very Central European. So, Tala follows the Flash out, and we get the second biggest sex joke of the series. Where Tala pulls him into a room, closes the door, and we hear, "Hey, that's not restful." And
yeah,
we know this episode was written by Dwayne McDuffie, because every episode he writes has a sex joke in it.
Right. Did he do the one, the ending to the first season? It was like the Back to the Future thing?
Yep. Yeah, he did that episode. Every episode he does has a sex joke in it, and no one else in the whole series does.
Fantastic.
He also did the Hawk Girl episode where she very clearly had sex with her stalker.
Right.
So, yeah, that happens.
Which was just a little weird.
Is that rape?
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
She wasn't having sex with the person she thought she was having sex with. And we find out in the next scene that he was definitely willing and able.
I feel like that's a really roundabout way. Not that's jumping to what's the fucking word for it? You're like taking a diagram trying to pinpoint the ancestor of mankind to get to this being rape. I feel like that's a really hard definition of it. She didn't know the person generally, but she was more than willing.
I'm not sure she would have had sex with the Flash. I think if she knew the truth, she wouldn't have had sex with him, so it's rape. And that's really disturbing, because the Flash is a hero, and I really like him. But I also have a very strong anti-rape policy. Like most living, breathing people.
This is, okay, Jordan, at this moment, I think you're going a little bit overboard.
I don't think so. I think this is rape.
I would disagree so full-heartedly. It's just because she didn't know who he was.
That is 100%.
She thought she knew who he was, but didn't realize he was kind of nuts. That doesn't mean it was rape. Rape is non-consent.
And I don't think she gave consent to have sex with the Flash.
She gave consent to have sex with this person. Okay.
But she didn't know who that person was.
She didn't know who that person was because she had literally just met him. And that's it.
I think
she would have known who he was if she had.
It's unsavory.
It's definitely it's unsavory.
It's very unsavory and disturbing for the Flash to have done that. And as a hero, he should have known better. Yes.
Wait, hold on a second. Why are we saying the Flash? What?
The Flash shouldn't have had sex with her. That's wrong.
Wait, no, we're talking about Hawkman. Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Tala and Hawkman, Hawkgirl having sex. That's no big deal. Both consensual.
Oh, I was talking about Hawkgirl. Holy shit!
No, I'm talking about Flash and Tala.
Also, I don't think they went all the way.
They definitely went all the way.
No, they did not.
Dude, rewatch the next scene.
I do not think they would have done that.
She talks about how enthusiastic he was, and how excited, and how good he was.
I do not think they went all the way.
100%.
You think he... Okay, the entire time he was freaking out about all this stuff, the entire time, and you think he would sit down and make love to this random woman? Like, think of the person he is. Don't think of the Flash. Think of Wally West. Think of what he's doing. Think of what he is, the wholesome guy that he is.
I truly believe
he can very much have a very hard time trying to deal with hitting on the Brazilian woman.
Fire.
I do not think he would willingly have sex with this person. Also, we find out later on that Talia most definitely likes the Flash more than she likes anyone.
We do find that out, but I think she liked a kinder Lex Luthor. I still don't think she liked the Flash.
I don't know, I think she would have liked the Flash.
She would have maybe gone to the more ethical side of the fight, which she doesn't do. She still stays on Luthor's side.
Well, she still stays on Luthor's side because she can't really change over at this point. I think, though, the thing is really that if she knew, because they didn't know which one it was. They just thought it was they said, like, oh, is it the Martian? Oh, is it someone? I can't remember the other option, but they didn't know it was the Flash.
Luthor told them who it was.
I don't think they really thought about that. Wait, does he really tell them that it was the Flash?
Yep.
Huh.
He does, and then they don't believe him, and Dr. Polaris tries to kill him. But that's
yeah. Also, then we see Talia later on say, "Is it really you, Lex?" And he goes, "Of course it's me." And she goes, "Oh." She's sad because she doesn't want it to be Lex.
Yeah. No, she just doesn't want to be mean to her.
I don't think she's infatuated with Lex.
Which brings up some serious questions later. But I think they had sex and it was rape. I
do not think they had sex. Because, like, think of the person that he is. He would have never consented to it.
He viewed it as keeping his cover.
I don't think he would have.
But, I mean, how else could you possibly determine, hey, that's not restful?
She was doing some other stuff, and then he was going to say no.
I hope you're right, but I do not think so because of the next scene where he says, "You were so enthusiastic and good," and
I don't remember them talking about that.
They talk about it afterwards, and I thought you were right too. When I first saw the "hey, that's not restful," it's like, okay, they didn't do it. It's a funny joke. But the next scene where she's like raving about how good he is. They had sex, and that's rape.
I don't believe that, like, at all. I don't think they did.
And I think that's an episode of bad storytelling when you make me dislike your character. So
I don't think they did. I think you're going a little haywire. Because, I mean, one, that can be loads of things.
Alright. So I think we're going to have to agree to disagree. You should rewatch the scene after.
Alright.
It's not a restful joke. So, when the Flash sees the comm room, he tries to contact the League, but Dr. Polaris wants to leave for the heist, and Gorilla Grodd wants to see him, so he can't make it there. Grodd knows it's the Flash, but he wants to see it play out. He might be trapped there, but damn. He's at least going to enjoy what he gets.
Yeah, I love that. He goes, "Don't you hate Lex Luthor?" It's like, I do. But I also hate you a lot, too. I also kind of wish you were dead. Well, if it was anyone else besides the Flash, I think he might have helped him. Because Gorilla Grodd is the Flash's villain.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think any other villain besides the Flash. And Grodd might have helped him over Luthor. And maybe done something in exchange, like, you free me, I'll give you the dirt on Legion of Doom headquarters. So, where are we at?
Continuing onward.
So then Tala comes in and says they have to go. And then Grodd says something just like horrifying. He says, "I miss bending you to my will." Which puts that scene where she calls him master and won't get up until he says it into a whole new light. That's really disturbing.
I don't think that was about... He's talking about that because he thinks he's superior. That's the thing.
I think it implies that he was mind controlling her.
I don't think it implies that at all. He says bending her to his will because of the master-servant kind of thing, where she's literally his plaything at this point. Like that's pretty much just what it is, because that's her nature. But he enjoyed the feeling of superiority over a human. I don't think it would be her under mind control. One, I don't think she could really be put nearly as quickly under mind control because of the nature of what she is.
Well, it obviously didn't work because I think it would make sense where you could paint a picture where he was mind controlling her, she broke it but continued to play at it, and helped Luthor with his coup. And that's why Luthor's coup went so well, is because she was betraying Grodd.
I don't think so. I think it was literally just because that's her nature, is to go with the strongest. She goes back and forth like all the time. She literally jumped onto Lex Luthor because he was the one showing superiority. Instead of, Grodd being the one to show superiority, so now he's fucking with her. She wants to be number two.
I don't know. I think you can make a story there, which we run. But she seems really happy right now with the Lex Luthor, the new Lex Luthor.
Well, she seems really happy right now. Theory. She's happy right now with what's his name?
The new Lex Luthor is in air quotes.
Flash Luthor.
Yeah. The new Lex Luthor is in air quotes, which I'm realizing in a podcast you guys can't see.
Yeah.
But
which in air quotes, Lex Luthor, air quotes.
Yeah. So, at the Watchtower, Dr. Fate has made a spell to reverse the other two back, but he needs contact with one of them. So, Lex Luthor is in the calf, so Dr. Fate goes there. Green Lantern is pretty much just defending everything in the world that is being thrown at him. But Yellow Jello gets through.
Right. I thought it was pudding, but like whatever.
Yeah, which was a nice touch. Although it's kind of weird because at one point in the series, we saw a Green Lantern ring go head to head in Superman the Animated Series. We saw Kyle Rayner's ring go head to head with Sinestro's. So they don't seem to have the yellow weakness in this universe except for this one time. But whatever.
I feel like a lot of that isn't held to the highest standard with kids' cartoons. It's not
a nice
exactly.
Moment. Everyone knows Green Lantern's ring is weak to yellow. It's fun.
I don't know. I feel like they don't follow it so closely simply because it's a kids show and they don't really have to care. They feel in those moments of epic battling, they kind of throw out a lot of that.
I just think that's bad storytelling when you have inconsistent powers. Like, look, I'm letting it go because it's not really a big deal. They can get away with this. But it's still not good storytelling.
They'll never get away with this.
Yeah. So
in fact, they already have. It's been years later.
In Castian, the Flash tries to sabotage the mission, but he's pretty much failing because they're actually very good supervillains.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Polaris forces him to give the order, and then Dr. Polaris and Sinestro attack the military. While they blow up the bridge. Sinestro takes the train into a cave. They start loading the money into their ship. Everything's going well until Lex Luthor sends them a little message saying that it isn't him. It's a Justice League imposter. The Flash tries to bluff this out, but starting a sentence with "I, Lex Luthor," gives it away. As does not knowing Dr. Polaris' real name. So.
I was going to go with Steve Polaris.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was going to go with Steve Polaris.
It's like Dr. Neil Eugene or something like that. It's Dr.
Well, that's a boring name.
So, I don't know, it's a pretty normal name, yeah. I'm sure there's meaning behind it. I really should have looked up the meaning behind that. So yeah, he manages to send something of a message to the Watchtower, and Mr. T is able to track it. And he sends a team the coordinates, it's actually kind of a cool touch. They put the coordinates he sent them, I put them into Google Maps, and they're in northern Serbia.
Really?
Which is obviously in the former Yugoslavia.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was a nice touch. So it really sets up the Yugoslavia feel. So then, in the Watchtower, Lex Luthor sets off a diversion and attacks Mr. T.
I just think it's pretty cool the fact that they worked hard at literally understanding their,
they put a lot of thought into what Kaznia is like. It's not just that place where bad things in the DC universe happen. It's a real place to them in this universe.
That place where bad things happen.
So it's a nice touch. It makes the world more whole. That every time we see Kaznia, it's got the same sort of flowers and mountains, and it feels like one consistent place. I really think that's a good job. So at the Watchtower, Lex Luthor sets a diversion and attacks Mr. T. He destroys his T-spheres and starts rebuilding the teleporter in the main bridge.
Which is, like, super cool, because if you think about how fucked everything is right now...
Yeah, that was blown up. The teleporter was legitimately blown up, and he is just rebuilding it.
Well, if you think about it, it's the brain of Lex Luthor in a body that works at such a fast rate. Think about how quickly he could take over the world.
Yeah, no. If Lex Luthor got off that, if he got off that shuttle, it was game over.
Oh yeah, no, literally, it was game over.
The Justice League would be dead, and the world would be his to command.
Yeah, thank God for Mr. Terrific and his quick thinking. Does not get enough credit.
Yeah, he's a great hero.
Is that T-faced son of a bitch? He did it. He saved the day.
Meanwhile, Steel, Ice, and Dr. Light go to the signal the Flash sent. Dr. Light finds the hideout using Sinestros. I like how it's a nice touch that, hard light constructs are what the rings use. So Dr. Light can track power ring usage.
That's not Dr. Light.
That is. That's what she's called.
That's what she's called?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure her name was something
Dr.
different.
Light, is traditionally the Teen Titans villain.
Yeah, I definitely think she's
Dr. Light.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I googled
Holy shit, she's actually named Dr. Light as well as the other guy who is also named Dr. Light.
Yeah, I was looking at it, but it says on the DCAU wiki, Steel, Ice, and Dr. Light.
Huh.
And I clicked on her thing, and it clearly said Dr. Light. So
yeah, no. I mean, I'm looking it up now. Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah. So
which is odd to me. Like, why would they name two characters Dr. Light?
One of the other Dr. Lights, like how Shazam used to be called Captain Marvel, but then Marvel patented Captain Marvel.
Right. And now his name is Shazam, which I think is, like, kind of alright.
Shazam's okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously it'd be better if it was Captain Marvel, but whatever. So he starts rebuilding the teleporter. So Tala opens a portal. So once they're found, Tala opens a portal, and the supervillains escape with some money. They also realize that Steel is a terrible matchup against Dr. Polaris because, his name is Steel, and Dr. Polaris controls metal. So that's a bit of a mismatch, you might say.
I do really enjoy the face that he gives, like staring at Steel. He's looking over at Steel thinking, no, you're made of metal. No, this is not happening for you. You're gonna get fucked.
I think it's more
pretty much,
dude, are you really this stupid? Like, really?
Yeah, right? He stares at Steel and he crosses his arms. He's like, really? No, I'm having fun with you. So, you're getting thrown around.
So they take some money, and they go. It's nice. So they got something for their efforts. At the Watchtower, Lex Luthor finishes fixing the teleporter, but Mr. Terrific turns off the artificial gravity. The Flash uses his powers to fly down, and then Mr. Terrific turns the gravity back on, knocking him out. It was just a brilliant strategy. Really shows the intelligence of Mr. Terrific and Lex Luthor's weakness, which is his overconfidence.
Right.
You can see the glint in his eye. Such great animation in this scene. Because you can see the glint in his eye where he stops thinking, and it's in that second that Mr. Terrific takes advantage of. And that's what distinguishes, you might say, the men from the boys.
The men from the boys.
You don't lose awareness of your surroundings. You never do it. So not many outsmart Lex Luthor, but Mr. Terrific can now add himself to that list.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, like, it was kind of a wonder to understand whether or not Lex Luthor would keep using the Flash's body as well as he understood, as well as he could. Understanding that he would try to rocket himself downwards using his fucking crazy turbine powers. And then he would put the gravity back on, so he would literally rocket forward and slam into the floor, passing out.
Yep. So Dr. Fate switches them back, and the Flash proves it's him by telling an embarrassing story about Green Lantern.
Right.
Specifically what his nickname was before he joined the Marines.
You promised you wouldn't tell anyone.
And I didn't.
That was so clever.
Yeah. It's nice. It really proved it was the Flash.
Yeah.
So,
nice to see he's back, too. Back to his old stupid self.
At Legion of Doom headquarters, you might say they're a little less welcoming. They have Lex Luthor tied up, and they think he's Martian Manhunter. Lex Luthor explains that it's him again and that he switched bodies with the Flash, but they don't believe him because, that sounds a little ridiculous.
Right. Now he's talking properly, he's yelling at people and calling everyone idiots like he normally does, so I believe it.
Yeah. Also, Dr. Polaris, he doesn't really care because he's decided he's in charge. He actually acts a lot like how Lex Luthor acted during his coup. The first one. So...
Right, now I got that. I liked his coup more because
he was visually trying to copy the language that Lex Luthor used and the symbolism that Lex Luthor used when he did his coup.
Actually, I feel like he was trying to be way more cinematic with it because we can clearly see he ripped the metal from the ceiling and he used it to, fuck with him. He's saying, like, I don't care what's going on, but I'm in control now. When Lex Luthor was quick, he was simple, he just shot Grodd, and that was it. He's like, all right, I was going to let this go on for a little while longer, but I'm getting bored of you, so there you go. Like, Lex Luthor said that I was in control this entire time, but you're boring me now, so goodbye.
Either way.
That's what he was saying.
With one button, Lex Luthor turns his powers on himself, capturing Polaris, freeing himself, and just proving what a goddamn badass he is.
Yeah, pretty much. He just whips out his dick, says, ain't no one gonna compete with this shit, and then walks away.
And then he explains that he gave himself an override on all their ability, challenges the room with a brilliant strut, and nobody is willing to step in front of fricking Lex Luthor, the only man without superpowers in the whole room.
Right, exactly.
So, he then walks out, leaving a cowed room and improving his coup record to 2-0. There's also a really sad moment where he insults Tala, who thought she really meant something to him. Her hurt face, followed by his smirk, is how we leave.
And I love that little line she says afterwards. It's like, Lex, is it really you? He goes, yes, of course it is. She goes, aw.
Yeah, she's just sad. It's really sad. It's heartbreaking.
She's like, oh, I just really wanted to,
Wanted to be appreciated,
To diddle the Flash. A kind and caring Lord.
Yeah. So, it's a little sad. But, it's what it is. She's a super
And they didn't have sex.
She's having a Harley Quinn sort of moment, I guess. And it does a good job showing how evil Lex Luthor is and how little consideration he takes for others' feelings.
Right.
Even his allies.
I don't feel like it was very much a not taking into consideration her feelings, because, I mean, actually, no, that was entirely what it was. He just doesn't give a shit about what she feels, because, I don't know, she's beneath him, pretty much, is how he feels.
Yeah, everyone is beneath him.
Yeah, he's fucking Lex Luthor.
They're just tools for Lex Luthor to use.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, let's, I would say, start with our big question of the day. What do we think was... Because there was a lot of disturbing stuff in this episode.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yes, let us start almost an hour into the shit with our big question.
We've actually done a good bit on the big question. But let's, I would say, finish on the big question, perhaps.
Right. How do we judge this episode?
By its high points or by its low points?
Well, how do we judge this episode in terms of the entirety of the series, as well as superhero shows in general? Because what did we get from this episode that could not have been done without a superhero theme? We've seen, out-of-body experiences in shows before. We've seen that. It's happened. But what made this one different? What made us want to watch this one?
Well, there was
more than anything else. It was the fact that they were using superheroes. But
I mean, there was action, but there was also
there was a lot of...
They could have bigger themes in this episode of what do you do when you're on the inside.
We watch it for the action, yeah, but I really feel there wasn't much action. There was a lot of slow dialogue. We had to understand what was going on. All this shit was happening, blah, blah, blah. It's just like watching the Flash as Lex Luthor. It's obvious that he's going to have all this mishap and all these mess-ups, but to make that more than half of what actually happened, really, it took up a lot of time of watching him make the same joke over and over again. The same,
the joke was funny.
I don't really know what I'm doing joke. I'm just kind of chilling out here. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you have that happen instead of going back to more of the Flash, where we really didn't even see the Flash do that much?
Yeah.
So,
actually, in the original
when Lex Luthor, we didn't see that much. We saw more of, what do you call it? We saw more of...
action. We saw more action, yeah.
No, we saw more of them not knowing where he was in the building. That's what we saw.
I guess. It was good. I liked the whole episode. What I didn't like
definitely,
was the rape.
I felt like it could have been a lot better.
What really disturbed me, I think, was the rape. Was what the Flash going along with the plan and giving the order. What the Flash had to do to keep his cover, I don't think they thought through the consequences of what he did there.
I think the Flash understood that he couldn't do anything in this moment. I definitely don't think they had sex, at all. Maybe they made out. Maybe they kissed or something. I don't think they went all the way. I don't think the Flash would ever let that kind of thing happen. He's a good person.
I think you got to rewatch the scene after. I think it's very clear.
I gotta watch the scene, but I don't think I'm gonna agree with you.
All right. Well, I sincerely hope you're right and that you don't agree with me, but I think it's pretty clear that's what happened.
All right, fine.
So.
And I mean,
So because of that, I think that's a textbook example of what you don't do. You can't just make a joke like that and then expect it to be okay. You've got to think through jokes like that. And it happens quick, you might not even notice it, but if you're going to be seriously watching this show, you can't do that. So that's a definitely don't do in a superhero show. You got to think about everything just as seriously as you have to do on any other show.
I don't know. I just don't feel like what he did was that. I feel like, he's like, that's not it. That's the kind of thing, she would try to start doing, and he'd be like, what are you doing? I'm trying to sleep here. That's what the Flash is. He's a child.
He's really not. He owns his own apartment. He's got his own job. He's a child, though. It doesn't mean just because he's got an apartment and a job doesn't mean he's not a kid at heart. Okay. So the other Flash, whose name I was trying to remember earlier, Barry Allen.
Barry Allen. Holy shit. How did I
don't know how we couldn't remember that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
One of the freaking...
And it's generally Barry Allen who's the one who's married.
Right.
And Jay Garrett, obviously. But Jay Garrett's older.
Yeah, that's from a while back.
Married. So, I think that's a definite don't do. You got to think about stuff like that when you're doing the consequences of a body switch episode. Then, I think a perfect example of stuff you have to think about and having consequences is in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah?
And something like this happens. A hero and a villain switch bodies, and then the villain in the hero's body has sex with her boyfriend.
Oh.
And for the next couple episodes,
she
does not forgive him.
Is the villain a woman? Or is the villain, like, male?
They're both female.
Okay, because I'm like, if the villain is male, that'll be really weird.
It's the same body.
I know, yeah, but like...
So either way, and she doesn't really forgive him. Even though they're in a relationship and they're close.
I'd understand that. I don't think that anyone is in a close relationship with...
I think that's a bigger deal, that Tala should have been hurt the way Buffy was hurt.
I don't think she gave a shit.
And I think towards the end of the episode we see that she was.
I don't think she cares who she's with, just as long as she's on the top.
I think she cares who she's with.
I don't, because she dropped like a fucking mallet.
She did, but she also seemed genuinely hurt by him.
I don't think
I think it's possible she was passing information on to him.
I don't think she cared.
At one point, because she jumps to Grodd's side, and then she immediately jumps to Luthor. I think Luthor was using her at that point even. That she'd already betrayed Grodd earlier. And that's why Luthor was able to defeat Grodd so easily. Because his plan doesn't really seem to have a lot of subtlety. He just shoots Grodd.
Exactly.
I think Grodd normally has some defenses against that.
Wait, what?
I said, I would bet Grodd normally has some defenses against just being shot. Tala might have disabled those. Or augmented
I think you're looking really deep into this. I think
it makes sense.
You are putting so many goddamn bridges in this thing where it's literally it's just a hole in the ground. You do not need to make up so much shit for this. I don't think Talia did any of that. I don't think the people would make all of this like background plot just for this kid's show. They're not that deep. No way in hell.
I think you gotta look at every story.
Like way too deep.
I think you gotta look at every story as if it was a universe.
I think you should be able to, yes, but in the universe where they make jokes like this that don't make sense with what they talk about afterwards, like a lot of the things they do are just for show. They're just one side's for kids and the other side's for the parents to enjoy. And that's where you get those adult jokes that don't mean anything. You have to remember that this is also...
I think we got to analyze this like everything means something.
Jordan, this is also a product being sold, so it has to intentionally make people want to watch it. So what they're doing is they're making a series that the kids will enjoy with the plot, which is simplistic and easy to understand, the characters that are big and bad and loud and cool, and then also they throw in those sexual jokes and allow things that parents will understand. But I don't think there's all this subtle background that would literally only be understood by people that take so much time into reading into it. You are putting evidence there where it is not.
I think I'm doing more making a
jumped from one position of power to another. She her mental state is all about. I can't remember the definition of the word of it, but it's subservience. She wants to be number two constantly. Huh?
I said I'm not really sure that's her, but we've had this argument before. I don't think we're getting anywhere. So that's what I didn't like about this. What I think this episode does do well is it's funny as heck. The jokes all land, which I think is something we really want in a superhero show. 2, the action is good.
Especially with the Flash.
They have a creative use of the Flash's powers. It always feels authentic to Luthor. It's the Flash's voice, but what I read is that they used, they had the Lex Luthor actor read the line as Lex Luthor, and then had the Flash guy try and say it that way. And you really felt like it was Lex Luthor in the body and Flash and vice versa.
Oh yeah, no, I love that collaboration of voice acting right there, where it's talk like Lex Luthor talking like the Flash.
Yeah.
Like my mom, one of her favorite skits is Robin Williams doing an impersonation of another comedian doing an impersonation of Elmer Fudd. And I can't remember what the name is for the life of me, but it's like she's talking so funny the way she described it. And if you think about that, that's such a level of voice acting talent. Like, you have to think about that.
It's very meta.
You are literally doing the voice of another person doing the voice of another person.
Yeah.
That right there is layers of depth.
That is layers of depth.
So. But I felt it was weak in the sense that it took its time between the jokes. They made that one big joke of Lex Luthor or Flash being Lex Luthor. You know, Flash's mind and Lex Luthor's body. They made that one joke, and they kept it going, and it was slow, and it was funny at first, but then it just kept getting like, how's he gonna get himself out of this one? And what's he gonna do now?
Really
it's just like he keeps talking and talking and talking. It never really changed. And they just kept going with it instead of Bizarro was the only one that pointed it out.
Is you Bizarro's mommy?
Yeah, is you Bizarro's mommy. That was weird.
That was funny. Because in this universe, Lex Luthor actually created Bizarro.
Oh, in this universe?
Yep, in this universe, Lex Luthor created Bizarro to fight as a Superman clone.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. All I know is in this one, Bizarro is
Bizarro's mommy.
So technically, no. He is not Bizarro's mommy.
Well, he birthed him.
In Bizarro language, no.
Oh, yes, in Bizarro language, no. So, right. I think the important stuff landed well.
Right.
So, where would you... I think it's the perfect segue. Where would you rank this, Elliot?
I don't know why I didn't think about this, but in all honesty, I thought it was fun, but it was lacking. It had a lot of really great moments because I really enjoyed The Flash, and I thought any moment with The Flash was cool. But it had the highlights were just like little moments of The Flash, Dr. Polaris,
and the best joke of the whole series. I can finally find out the Flash's secret identity.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea what this is.
That was by far my all-time favorite quote in the entire series. Oh my god. it's like the Flash's secret identity. I have no idea who this is. And it was
one
just
day,
so...
like 30 years from now, Lex Luthor's going to be walking down the street and he's going to see Wally West and go, "The Flash!"
Oh my god, no, he's going to see Wally West, and Wally West is going to be like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Walks past him and goes, "Yes, of course." Wait a minute!
Because, I mean, Lex has a photographic memory. That's canon because he memorized the schematics.
Yeah, no, we remember. I remember. I was there.
So...
I saw. Yeah. Let me, I have to think about this. You do yours first.
I'll do mine first. So I thought this episode had some really great high points and some really low points. So I thought it should go in my some of the best, some of the worst series. So I was thinking, there's some great episodes. Once and Future King, I didn't think it was quite as good. This Little Piggy, I don't know how it's that low. I love that episode. Task Force X, really high points, really low points. Fearful Symmetry, same thing. And then finally I hit Chaos at Earth's Core. Another episode which we thought the concept was just brilliant. But
right.
It was
but
just
needed a little bit more
time. The opposite. I thought the execution was so good, but the concept didn't let it grow into something so beautiful. But I thought that in the end, the jokes hit so well, the action was so good, that I could put it above Chaos at Earth's Core. So I'm putting it at 19 between Fearful Symmetry and the Chaos at the Earth's Core.
Alright, I can understand that. The thing with me, though, I saw this episode, I was really looking forward to it, and I took away from it what I loved, what I remembered loving, and I still love it for it, but there was so much in between. Like, I would watch this episode again merely for those moments. Those moments are moments that I would tell someone, like, this is why the Justice League Unlimited show was great, why this series is fantastic, because you have Lex Luthor going nuts, you have, the Flash just being kooky and zany and hilarious, and it's cute. And they all have really great points, but there's so much in between that was just boring. It was just mellow, and it didn't really hit that high of a note when it happened. I would honestly put it below, I would put it one below Kid Stuff.
One below Kid Stuff.
One below Kid Stuff.
Oh, wow, you put it even lower than I did.
Yep, I sure did.
At number 24. So, wow.
I actually want to reevaluate myself, because I think I would put Kid Stuff a little higher.
Yeah, I think this Little Piggy goes, we'll have to just spend a weekend just marathoning Justice League Unlimited.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that.
At the end, when we're done, we'll wait like 5 weeks and we'll do the podcast of the podcast.
Right. To reiterate everything in its completion.
And I don't know what I'll do with myself. We only have 5 more weeks of this.
Right.
I'm going to have 2 extra days every week now.
Ha! Jeez, McCraw.
I still don't think anything's going to pass the Cadmus arc finale. No matter how many redrafts we do. But we will see. We still have 5 episodes to go.
Yeah, that Cadmus arc finale was something else.
I mean, it was the culmination of 26 episodes. It was great.
Yeah, it did a really good job.
There was enough filler there. It was the culmination of like 16 episodes.
I think that's not really fair, though. Maybe, like, because it's such a, like, this is it. That was it. That was a culmination of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, the season finale of this one is going to be that way too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I guess so. This season finale, I can't even remember the season finale.
Oh, I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, well, of course not. I'm going to watch it, but...
Well, I mean, on the podcast. Afterwards, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Fine, then.
Any last...
I have seen it before, though, so it's not like it's...
Any last words?
Always tip your waitress. But then afterwards, you should pick her back up again.
Oh, God, that's all. That's a nice play on words. So, folks, stay beautiful.